This is Mrs. Naslund, and today we'll be doing Unit 7, Lesson 7, Problem Solving. Our learning target for today is, I can solve word problems with mixed operations. So we've talked about word problems numerous times, and I just want to review our steps of solving word problems. We use the cubes method. First, we circle any numbers we see in the problem. Then we underline the question being asked. We box any keywords. Then we evaluate and draw, and last S we solve and check our answers. Another thing that can help us when we solve word problems is understanding the key words that are in word problems. So here's a great list, and both the cubes poster and the keyword poster can be found in Schoology in this lesson for you to look at and even take notes in your notebook. When we add, some of the keywords that we might see are add, sum, total, altogether, plus, in all. When we multiply, some of the words we might see are multiply, product, times, twice, total, multiplied by. When we subtract, some common words are subtract, remain, difference, less than, fewer, how many more, and minus. And when we divide, some common words are divide, quotient, goes into, split equally, and each. All right, so let's practice these techniques with a couple of word problems. These are one-step word problems. It says the 4th and 5th grade class at Jackson School held a Just for Fun winter carnival. All of the students in the school were invited. It says discuss what operation you need to use to solve each problem, then solve the problem. So here's the first problem. We use the cubes method after we read it. It says to advertise the carnival, students decorated 4 hallway bulletin boards. They started with 2,025 pieces of colored paper. When they finished, they had 9 pieces left. How many pieces of paper did they use? So first, we're going to go ahead and we're going to circle all of the numbers that we see. So there were 4 bulletin boards. They used 2,025 pieces of paper, and at the end they had 9 pieces of paper left. All right. Then we're going to underline the question. How many pieces of paper did they use? All right. We're going to box any keywords that we see. So let's see. We want to know how many pieces are left. I think that's a keyword there from the pieces of paper. Okay. And then we evaluate and draw. So when we look at this problem, I think right away that there might be some extra information I don't need, because it says they advertised the carnival, students decorated 4 hallway bulletin boards. All right. They started with 2,025 pieces of colored paper, and when they finished, they had 9 left. How many pieces of paper did they use? Nowhere are they actually talking about bulletin boards. So I can cross off all this information, okay? Sometimes they give us extra information to try to confuse us in word problems. In this case, all they want to know is how many pieces of paper did they use. So I know that they had 2,025 to start, and they had 9 left. So when I see that, I right away think I need to subtract. I need to take 2,025 and I need to subtract 9 pieces of paper. So I'm going to write out my problem, and then we can go ahead and solve it. I can't take 5 minus 9, so I need to borrow here. I'll make this a 1. So 15 minus 9 would give me 6. And then 1 minus 0 is 1. 0 minus nothing is 0. And 2. So they used, how much did they use? They used 2,016 pieces of paper. They had just 9 pieces of paper remaining. All right, we got it. Now let's go on to this problem here. It says, the parents ordered pizza to serve at the carnival. Each pizza was cut into 8 slices. How many pizzas had to be ordered so that 1,319 people could each have 1 slice? So again, first thing I do is I circle my numbers. So I know that each pizza was cut into 8 slices, and I know that there was 1,319 people that ordered pizza. I'm going to underline the question. How many pizzas had to be ordered so that 1,319 people could each have one slice. All right, and then we're going to box any key words. So let's see, I like each could have one slice of pizza. Okay, so each of these people get one slice. And I know that there's 8 slices per pizza. So when I see that they each get one, I'm thinking I need to do a division problem. So I'm going to do 1,319. And I know that there's 8 slices per pizza. So I'm going to divide it by 8. 8 goes into 13 one time. So I get 8. I subtract, get 5. And I look over here, I can bring on down my 1. You think, how many times does 8 go into 51? And it goes in 6 times. 8 times 6 is 48. I can go ahead and do my subtraction here. Can't do 1 minus 8, so I'm going to borrow from here, make this a 4. Make this another 1, so 11 minus 8, 3. And bring on down my 9. Scroll up here a little bit. Bring on down my 9, and 8 goes into 39 4 times. 8 times 4 is 32. And I'll subtract. And I end up with 7 extra pieces. 7 extra. So the question was, how many pizzas had to be ordered so that 1,319 people could each have one slice? So I know that we have 164 full pizzas, but I have this remainder of 1. And in order for everyone to get a slice, that means I'm going to have to make this 165. So I had to order 165 pizzas in order for each person to get a slice. All right, I'm going to go on and do some other problems. In these problems, these are multi-step word problems, meaning there are multiple things that have to be solved in order to solve the problem. But we can continue to use our cubes method to help us solve. So it says, at the start of the games, 193 fourth graders were separated into 3 events. 87 students participated in the first event. The rest of the students were evenly divided between the other 2 events. How many students participated in the last event? So again, first I circle my numbers. I know that there are 193 4th and 5th graders. I know they were separated into 3 different events. I'm gonna actually box that because I think that's important information. There's 3 different events. And 87 students participated in the first event. Okay. The rest of the students were evenly divided. Ooh, another important word, evenly. When I see evenly, I know that it's a dividing word, between the other 2 events. I'm going to fix that. You can't read that. 2 events. Evenly divided among the other 2 events. How many students participated in the last event? There's a lot of different pieces of information there. Okay. So again, I know I had 193 students to start, and they were separated into 3 different events. 87 students participated in the first event. So we want to get rid of those 87 students because we're trying to get to the last event. So I'm going to go ahead and first I'm going to subtract. I'm going to say 193. And I'm going to go ahead and subtract 87 because those are the ones who participated in the first event. And we're trying to get to who participated in the last event. So go ahead and subtract there. I borrow, make that an 8. 13 minus 7, 6. 8 minus 8 is 0, and I can bring down the 1. So when I get rid of those 87 people that did the first event, okay, this is the first event, I know that I have 106 that participated in the last 2 events. And it says, if we keep reading, The rest of the students were evenly divided between the other two events. So evenly divided. Oh, and there's that word divide again. That's going to be a key word, right? So I know that in order to make them evenly, I've got to divide these by 2, right? Because there are 2 events left and they're evenly divided. So we get to do some long division. There's the second part of our equation that we have to solve, or problem we have to solve. So 2 divides into 10 5 times. I'm going to multiply, which will give me 10. Then I'll subtract, which will give me 0. I'll bring down my 6. And I get to repeat. 2 goes into 6 3 times. Multiply, 2 times 6 is 6. Sorry, 2 times 3 is 6. I subtract and I get 0. So remainder is 0. So 53 students participated in the second and third event. Okay, second and third event. So if I read the question again, they want to know how many students participated in the last third event. And now we know our answer is 53 students participated in that last event. All right, great work. So again, first we had to subtract and then we had to divide. So that was a multi-step problem. So today we reviewed the cubes method for solving problems, reminded you that there are key words that can help you decide what operation you need to do, and then we practiced on both one-step word problems and two-step word problems. Again, word problems, use those cubes method and it's going to help you solve them, and go ahead and work on your homework.